And then coming out the party, I just hear a gunshot. And at the time, I did not know I got shot.
I know somebody that got shot. He got shot in the head. He got killed. That shit hurt me the most.
We lost a lot of people growing up. Gun violence is at its all-time high right now.
I stand up in my chair and I put my hands up. So I'm staring down the barrel of a gun.
It's still like, damn, it's this dream, a bad trip or something.
That's my form of healing, is being a give back and help find reason for my suffering.
In the Thump Yard now. We gotta give these kids a platform to get back to life, find themselves, recreate themselves.
Because boxing is not just about fighting either. They teach you shit, like not to give up, never give up.
I'm trying to inspire other young men to come out here and do what they don't think they can do.
You can see all those kids that go over there in the ring. They take all the anger out of them.
That's who I fight for, my man Blue. He most definitely in the ring with me, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's awesome.
All right, today on Knowing the Ropes, I have the founders and CEOs of the Thump Yard, Jonathan and Rigo De La Cruz, man. I truly appreciate y'all time today, man.
Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate you, man. Big fan of your channel and what you do.
Man, let's jump right into it, man. How did the whole concept of the Thump Yard come about? Tell that story.
Whole concept. So, my brother and I, our father was a professional boxer. So we've grown around the sport our whole life. I used to train at Sugar Ray Leonard Boxing Gym as a youth. Then I also moved to Miami and trained down in Miami. So I would go back and forth when I come visit my father. I'd be at Sugar Ray. And then in 2009, I was victim of a home invasion and got shot. And it happened on the day I was supposed to be at the boxing gym, but you know, unforeseen circumstances, and that happened. So that kind of, you know, stole the dream of me, any kind of aspirations I had with boxing. And then him and I, we've always kind of bounced back and forth ideas, because we've always did the little boxing on the street, ever since we was young, boxing in the gym. So boxing just something, a part of our lives that we're passionate about. So we bounce ideas back and forth, like, man, we should start like a little backyard boxing thing and just get the community together, put on the gloves. So we birthed the idea last year, spring of last year, 2021. And it was really, the inspiration was to raise awareness on gun violence. And if we were gonna do it, we weren't just gonna do it for play or for fun. We really wanted to do it to make an impact in the community and to raise awareness on gun violence happening around the DMV area.
You know, that's interesting that you talk about that, because one of the young men in my area in DC, Raekwon Brown, started a gun organization called One Love to get the guns off the street. He's currently now a student at Harvard University.
In 2017, I lost a teammate to gun violence. In 2018, I lost my stepdad to gun violence. That inspired me to start my brand, Love One. 20% of all proceeds received through Love One will go to One Gun Gone, an organization that buys guns off the street and turns them into art. Right now we have hoodies, t-shirts, and stickers. Eventually we'll have hats, socks, and anything else that you can wear. To buy Love One products, go to loveonecompany.com.
Man, but I would definitely love to link him up with you all, man, because he has a very strong program of getting the guns off the street called One Love in DC. And I truly am inspired by what you're doing with the Thump Yard and the things that you're doing. Do you hook up with other organizations? Because we were talking about it off camera, like Ceasefire Don't Smoke the Brother in DC. I see you have the Gun Down, Gloves Up. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Carlos.
Yeah, so we've collabed with that's a plug. He did a Guns Down Gloves Up Summit last year, a huge event at the old BET Studios in Washington D.C. We've worked with him. We've also real close friends with Ill Smoke Entertainment, Ilzak, where they have the Hands Up, Guns Down, and they support Sandy, Send 'em Down Sandy, and all of that. But other than that, that's really it. I mean, we've been kind of just growing our own movement. Everything's been organic. You know, to date we've got like around 6,500 followers on Instagram that all have been organic. Haven't really been able to run any ads, so it's been growing like wildfire. We got attention from the media, the city council member in this area where we're hosting our backyard events, and just recently this past Sunday we transitioned to sanctioned events now.
I wanted to talk about that. That's one of the reasons why I'm here today, man, because you had the opportunity to move the Thump Yard over to sanctioned events. What was the concept or the reason that you wanted to move over into that? And like you said, it was a very successful show at the Copacabana.
Yeah.
The media came out. What was that show like for you?
I mean, it was a huge milestone for us, just because we literally started in the dirt. Like our first Thump Yard event, we only had 4 matches, and we did it kind of like as a proof of concept, see if we could get anybody out and see where it goes from there. And we hosted 16 backyard events, and it went from the first one having only 4 fights, we on dirt with like some makeshift ring, to us actually purchasing our own ring at some point. And it went from just a few people to we have like 400 or 500 people at our events, and our biggest event we had like 16 matches. So, you know, just natural progression, and us wanting to push ourselves to take things to the next level after every event. You know, we always try to look at, okay, how can we improve on the next event? What can we do to make this better on the next one? And it's just a natural progression of things. And also, we come from the boxing background, so we respect boxing. Like, we know what it is to get it in there, and we have a huge respect for the sport. So, I mean, we were missing out on a huge community of boxers, of local gyms that weren't going to participate in our non-sanctioned events. So I think it was just, you know, the natural progression of things, and you know, just to go to the next level and level up and start doing the sanctioned events.
No, as the Thump Yard gets bigger and bigger, have people started to reach out, like different companies, for sponsorships, because of the positive movement that you have?
Yeah, we've got, that's one thing that helped us out on this previous event, that we've had a lot of support and a lot of sponsors. There's a lot of local companies that have been seeing what we're doing, and the media coverage has definitely helped us out in getting that exposure and giving us that credibility in the movement. Showing that we're really here to try to create change in the communities. So yeah, we have, after this past event, now we got people that maybe want to do some pro events or some pro-am events. So really the sky's the limit on what we can do. But the ultimate goal is to own and operate our own boxing gym.
Oh, that is the ultimate goal. Is it also in that process, because of such the good things that you're doing in the community, is to start 501c with the Thump Yard?
Yeah, that is actually the next step. We're actually in process of doing that. We gotta get because we're operating as an LLC. We gotta get the corp and then go file our paperwork for the nonprofit. But yeah, because that, like I said, we got the support of the community with the city council member in Prince George's County, and you know, we're an anti-violence movement. We're really doing this to raise awareness and create impact and change in the communities with these young kids, and get them off the wrong path, and provide boxing as an alternative solution to gun violence.
Has any other cities or councilmen from other cities across the country reach out to you because they seen something like this?
DC, Annapolis, Maryland actually want to sit down with us to do something over there.
DC has always reached out.
Yeah, DC. Maybe start doing something in DC for sure, potentially, because you know it's all the thing to beat. But right now, the biggest support has been Prince George's County. But you know, people are seeing what we're doing. The movement's growing, and I'm pretty sure we'll be in other locations doing our events.
You know, I watched the documentary on the Thump Yard. Yes, I did. I did. I watched it actually 3 times.
I appreciate it, man.
And very good documentary.
Thank you.
I want to go back because you talked about something when you had got shot, and you talk about when you didn't feel anything and how you cried and you just talked about, with the process of changing the bag, and it's going through that whole process. Did you ever give up at any time? Like to say,
And you know what I attribute that to is boxing. I always say like boxing gave me the mental strength, and I've always had like a strong mental attitude. And I think I attribute a lot of that to just my upbringing in the sport. My father used to lace up the glove. Me and him used to lace up the gloves since little. So, he's a strong boy. That boy hit hard. So, just since young, I think that really gave me that mental strength to really deal with the day-to-day that goes on with being a paraplegic and spinal cord injury.
Are you still in pain a lot? Because in that video you said you were in pain daily.
Yeah, I'm in pain right now.
The reason I asked that because I actually have a cousin who's paralyzed. He actually was paralyzed since 18, thrown out of a car. Was a high school star in North Carolina, and paralyzed from the same way. Actually started from the neck down to the chest. Chest down. He's chest down. And one of the things that he deals with, what recently was the bed sores. Yeah, because he has really I can see how you able to move he has very limited mobility because of the way that. Yeah. So it's
injury. Yeah, he's in a quad. So yeah, I fortunately, I'm 13 years in this situation. So unfortunately, I haven't got a pressure sore or bed sores or anything like that. I've been blessed to have use of my arms, so I'm pretty mobile. And right behind you can see I got my standing frame, so I try to stand when I can. I got my gym bags and stuff, so whenever I can, I try to stay active and mobile as much as possible.
In your line of work, doing what you're doing for the community, man, have you run into other kids who might have been shot or paraplegic also as well? And what advice do you give them?
So what we've done, what we did at all of our previous events.
Yeah, mostly like the Thump Yard, since the Thump Yard, the brand, man, we've been able to get with the community and hear so many stories, bro. You'll be surprised. We were able to hear so many different stories. People gravitate to us because we're raising awareness to gun violence, and people. He has a good friend, friend now.
So what we do at the events, at the backyard events we were doing, so we'd always have a guest speaking part, and we'd always highlight someone that's from the community who's been impacted by gun violence. Whether maybe it's them that did the shooting, or them they've been shot, or maybe someone who's turned their life around, who lived a certain life before, and now they're just trying to make a change. So we always like to highlight members of the community who've been impacted somehow, some way by gun violence, and that want to just share their testimony. So we met some pretty interesting people throughout the journey. And one specific kid, I'll tell you, his name is Kevin, for example. He had no idea I was even in a wheelchair. And he saw the movement grow, and he hit me up on the DM on Instagram. And he was like, hey, you should let people in wheelchairs box. I'm like, why you say that? And he's like, oh, I'm in a wheelchair. I was recently shot. And with the time he wrote that, he had only been injured like maybe 6 months. So, it's been good. He's like a part of the family too, a part of the movement. And it's been good to see how it's been able to help him. I've been able to help him out. We've actually put on the gloves. If you go to the YouTube channel,
I've seen the paraplegic boxing on there. I was going to ask you about that, but you let.
Yeah, that was me. I went in there a couple of times with you guys. So, just to give them like something to look forward to, something exciting, and it empowers them again to do something that they thought they couldn't do anymore. So we definitely involved with people in the community who've been impacted by gun violence.
Man, I definitely got to get that connection with you and Coach Calvin, man, because the type of stories that you're speaking of, man, his kids would really benefit from that, man, because of where Upton is in West Baltimore, very dangerous, violent neighborhood. But yet, Coach Calvin, that's his block. Nothing happens on that block. But he would definitely, I think his kids would definitely benefit having you come through there, man. So I'm definitely reach out to him and let him know about it.
I enjoy doing is speaking, just sharing my testimony and doing any kind of speaking engagements. My background outside of this, I'm involved in real estate. So I'm a licensed real estate agent in DC and Maryland. My brother's involved in the construction, has his own contractor business, and so that's what we do outside. And what we like to do also is I see like tackling gun violence. We can do it through boxing, but at the same time, I think including like a financial literacy component to what we do. So like what we would do with the gun speaking part, you know, I touch on like real estate wholesale and how you can flip houses with no cash or credit. You know, it doesn't matter your background, don't need a license, that sort of thing. Like, you know, getting involved in trades and just kind of giving alternative ways for people to get money. Because yeah, boxing is great. It teaches you a lot of self-discipline, confidence, gives you all these life skills. But you know, if you're not great, you're not really making any money. So I think adding that component of financial literacy to it is important. So whenever we have that gym open, that's something that we would definitely include in our program.
You know, that's a great point there because, you know, especially with the boxers, man, they only fight what 2 or 3 times a year if you're one of the big fighters. But if you're a smaller fighter, like you said, I've talked to a lot of fighters, and one of their things that they do is to flip houses. So it's very interesting that you talked about that, because that'll be a great conversation with a lot of the fighters, because a lot of the fighters who are more established, that's one of the things they do in their downtime is flipping houses.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that's great. If you connect this with anyone that's already doing this, we can get some synergy going and, you know, create something for the community, man. That'd be great.
Now, I would talk to your brother over here, man. Talk about how big the team is with the Thump Yard, man. Who's all part of the team?
It's about 8 of us. We have a strong team, man. It's all we're all like family. We all help each other. Everybody has a major role. Everybody has a major role for sure, and it's important to have a team because it's not possible just me and him. Because we want to reach for the skies, and everybody with us definitely we want to take them with us. So everybody has a major role, so we can get there for sure. That's our plan. You know, we have big plans for the Thump Yard, like you're saying. We'll have eventually a facility. Stay going to amateur bouts now. Eventually maybe going to the pro fights as well, pro bouts. It's also something we're planning on doing in the future. And even again, if it's possible, if things are out there laid out on the table, we continue with other promoters and other gyms to do other shows. But for sure, we have a good team. We'll be doing good production.
Great production, man. I was tuned in on that live from the fights at the Coca-Cola, man.
And our production will just only get better for sure.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better. That was our first time doing that sort of production. And,
Really?
Yeah, that's our first time.
Wow, great job, man. Great job.
You know, shout out to our media guy, man, Javier.
Respect, big dog.
Behind that. But it's like I said, every event is always about getting better and improving, and we're always open to positive criticism. You know what I'm saying? And we want to hear like where did we mess up, where was it wrong, what could we have done better? Because we want to make sure that we always improving on the next show.
We're always trying to step it up a notch. Everybody knows it. If anybody's been with us from the beginning, we've always stepped it up a little bit.
Every show.
Every little show, something to improve. So that's our goal. Like we don't try to be perfect, but we try to be close to perfect as we can be, for the respect of the movement and where we try to go with this for sure.
Yeah, I gotta say, man, what you have is a definite benefit for the community, man. Because I can imagine, like in different sports in our area, man, they'll reach out to you to get that live coverage, man. Because man, can you imagine that, having that type of coverage, and you got schools and scouts looking at this type of quality work, is not just off a flip phone or something at the parents' game or something. So is that something also in the works?
It's in the works. Listen, we're open to anything. You know what I'm saying? Just holler at us. We've got the team, we've got the crew, we've got the capacity to really facilitate whatever it is we need, man, to kind of provide value to whatever other organization out there. You know, so we want to be able to provide value. That's what we're here for. You know?
What was your connection to get into the sanctioned events?
So we've always wanted to do that.
Yeah. So you know,
being a boxing promoter was something that we always spoke about
since before my injury. Since I was young, we played around with the idea, just never executed. You know, and the connection is that, like I said, my dad's a pro boxer, so he knows Juice. We've been seeing Juice since young. You know, my old coach, at Sugar Ray Leonard Gym, still coaching, Coach Will. He's Greg Outlaw's coach. So I mean, boxing's in our heart, man. So sooner or later it was gonna happen. We started with the backyard events. We did 16 of those. So the good thing is we was able to gain like a big following doing those events, make it real exciting. And then now those people now are seeing what a sanctioned event looks like. Because those people that follow the movement from its inception maybe weren't really into boxing. They didn't know amateur boxing. They didn't know that 8-year-old kids could get in there. And
most of them there were for the cause.
They were there just for the cause, or they had some.
Okay.
Because the way this was the platform before, so and not even before, because it still exists. But this is how we were running it. It's an open platform for anyone with no experience, anyone that wanted to get some kind of test themselves to put on the gloves. They could sign up on a website, and then I'll do the matchmaking based on weight and reported experience. So we keep the weight within 10 pounds. And you had a lot of guys, a lot of guys that they were, they thought they were hard and gangster in the street, but they get in there and like, damn, I gotta get in the gym. I gotta stop smoking weed. I gotta stop, so it kind of pushes them. And we had like a whole movement of people now. You seeing them working out and looking forward to the next event, and they just want to, push themselves. So what I always thought was like, we're gonna be the bridge between backyard boxing and sanctioned boxing. And now at this previous sanctioned event, we had a fighter that used to fight at this non-sanctioned backyard events. That's now he's training, he's taking it serious, and now he's fighting at sanctioned events.
He has a good following that's been with him, supporting him, through our backyard boxing. And now that he's going sanctioned, I'm sure his plan is to go pro. But now he has a fan base, and through that, through the Thump, he was able to create a fan base, and now he's taking it to the amateur, and I'm sure his plan will be taking pro, and by then he'll have some good following where that can help him in anyone's pro career from the exposure of the YouTube and of everything.
After a successful event like you had at the Copacabana, man, what's next for you, man? What you planning next, man? What's the next big event?
So the next one's gonna be in November, and it will be at Copacabana again. This time bigger, better. What I'm saying? Just bigger and better. It's the owners were really happy with the turnout.
I was gonna ask you, how did that partnership even come about?
So we're very like in this area, in this community, we're kind of like. We know a lot of people, so
to be honest with you, can't say one thing though, man. That was manifested.
We've been saying that. Yeah, you're right. Because when we were doing the backyard events, because the backyard event was right down the street from Copacabana, it's right in the same area,
in the same neighborhood.
So it's like, man,
my old neighborhood. I used to live right behind TikTok. You remember TikTok used to be there back in the day.
Backyard fights, right?
Yeah, right there on Ridge Road.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Let me find out.
We do it at a yard where they have dump trucks and stuff like that.
Right there on Ridge Road, where the cows are, the limousines.
Is that behind the Copacabana?
Nah, right here on
Ridge Road.
Over all them limousines on the left. If you driving this way on the left.
Behind that.
Right behind where there's some cows.
I know you're talking about.
That's where the dump yard was. So it's still there. So we manifested it because we were saying since then, like, man, the Copacabana,
like our first spot has to be there. Like
the perfect place.
And there, like our first spot has to be there. Like our first.
Yeah, and then
we was about to do the joint in the parking lot.
Yeah. So shout out to So there's a promoter in the area that locked us in with the owner of the venue. His name is Cholito Promo, and I told him the vision. He said, well, let's sit down with the owner. Sat down with the owner. He liked what we had to say. I showed him. By this time, we had already the news coverage. Like, we built a portfolio at the Instagram and showed him, like, we have a following and a proven kind of track record of what we could bring to the table. So the only thing new was going to be that it was going to be a sanctioned event. So, it all came together. It all came together.
And it was manifested. It was all manifested. It was all like, yo, this is what we gonna do. This is how we gonna do it.
And that's how man, we're doing the right thing because our heart's in the right place. We doing we're doing this from the right place, man. Really to make change and create an impact in the community. So.
Speaking with the spectators afterwards, man, what was the reaction, man, from the overall event that night?
The reaction, nothing but great feedback so far. I got a call today, 3 days later, and we still getting great raves and great.
Another thing,
great feedback.
Everybody's experience with us is a couple of things. At the Thump Yard, First, the environment. Second, the music. Third, the entertainment. Fourth, the food. Our food is always lit. We have food trucks. We have someone who has a smoker out there, smoking chicken, a whole pig, briskets. We have people frying fish. So it's like the environment there is just something that it's like people go for the experience. Like, yo, people come for food and entertainment.
It's not just boxing.
It's not just boxing. It's a whole experience.
And the vibes are good.
The vibes are just set. The tone is right. You know.
And then not only that, but we're re-emphasizing the message. You know what I'm saying? Why we come together as a community. Remember, we want to put the guns down and gloves up. You know, we thumping for a cause. Like that's our motto. So, you know, we always want to like keep emphasizing that and making sure that the people are kind of like, you know, tuned in with what it is, why we're doing these events and what the bigger purpose is.
Hey man, I gotta tell you, man, I truly appreciate the opportunity coming out today to get a chance to get insight on the Thump Yard and the great things that you're doing out there in the community, man. And hopefully, man, people will see this, man, and continue to support more and more and see the Thump Yard grow more and more. And we'll see it nationwide, man.
Yeah, November is going to be our next event at Copacabana in high school.
We're going to have all the elite superstars, man, from all over.
Yeah, they saw the production. I'm already getting DMs like, man, I want to be on the next show.
We want the most elite guys out there on these shows, man, to give them the right exposure, take them to the next level.
So what are you looking for as far as fighters for that event? Do you go out to scout or do they reach out to you?
They've been reaching out to us.
They've been reaching out to us, but also we were powered by O'Connor Boxing Gym on the last one. So Coach Jerry, he had a lot of contacts. He had a lot of contacts. A lot of coaches reached out to him. But now with this past event, like they're seeing the Thump Yard, I'm getting DMs. Like got people from PA. Like my son's ranked number 9. I want him on the show.
I'm quite sure,
you know
man.
What I'm saying? So
at the production like that, you're gonna have everybody hitting you up.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. People gonna see. We just want to keep, turning it up. Yeah, the next one most likely will be a belt show. We have some nice size trophies on the last one, which is nice, but we want to keep, something different every time to kind of just step it up every single time.
Hey, man, y'all doing an amazing job in the community, man. Keep up the great work, man.
Thank you.
Like I said, I was watching that work, man. I was truly impressed, man. You said that was the first time. Man, that was like some professional production, like you see with regular fights.
The documentary is nice, man.
Yeah,
it tells the whole story.
Gotta check out that documentary, man. I watched it 3 times.
Yeah, it's called Thump Yard. Thump Yard.
Thump Yard Champions of Circumstance.
Champion of Circumstances. Should have a part 2 come on one day. We need a part 2.
Yeah, y'all need a part 2, man.
We need a part 2.
Definitely.
The story's long for sure. That's like the beginning, a little bit of detail of, people's story, but definitely a part 2 will continue the journey. And we want to definitely, like I said, man, we really want a gym so we can get more involved, stay in tune, stay connected with the community.
Y'all councilmen, y'all hear that, man? Make a way. Make a way.
Make a way. Sure. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
One major thing a parent said to us on Sunday, one major thing a parent said to us on Sunday that stuck with me was when a parent said they prefer to have their kids inside of a gym than on doing sports outside in fields. You know what I mean? And that hit home real bad, because hit my heart, because it's true. After all, as well with the gun violence, nowadays you have gun violence on football fields with kids. You have gun violence on basketball courts with kids at parks. You know what I mean? So, and right now, in today's era, the best thing to do is keep kids locked in the gym and work them hard and turn them to that sport and build their character too, because boxing builds so much character in kids and anybody. So, for sure, it's a great sport to support. We need more of it, for sure.
Hey man, I truly appreciate your time today, man. Out here with the Thump Yard on the ropes. We out.